I'm Brittany Lewis with Forbes Breaking News. In a visit to Ohio stumping for Republican Governor Mike DeWine, former Vice President Mike Pence slammed President Biden's energy policy. Calling out the president for record-high fuel costs, Pence refuted Biden's claim that Vladimir Putin was responsible for misery at the pump. Pence also touted the energy policy of the Trump-Pence administration, in which the U.S. became a net energy exporter. Pence is seen as a possible 2024 presidential contender, and his trip to the crucial swing state of Ohio could signal his aspirations to return to high office. Let's listen in.
Well, thank you very much. I want to thank you, George, for the hospitality. I want to thank Interfab for opening up this spectacular facility and for the warm welcome that your team has given us today for this important conversation about American energy. It is extraordinary to think how far we have fallen in such a short period of time. Under the Trump-Pence administration, we unleashed American energy. We became a net exporter of energy for the first time in 75 years. But because of the policies of this administration since day one, Americans are now experiencing inflation at a 40-year high. Gasoline prices have skyrocketed, now averaging over $5 a gallon. 75% increase in gasoline prices at the pump. You know, one of the advantages of no longer being vice president, Mr. Governor, is you get to drive your own car. One of the disadvantages is you get to pay for your own gas. So I literally have been at the pump, at the gas station just around the corner from my house, north of Indianapolis. And I have to tell you, my wife said to me today, she said, "You didn't even fill up your car the whole way." I drive a Ford Edge. She said, "You didn't even fill up the whole way. It was $80. And you know, the truth is it's no laughing matter because it's impacting families. It's causing great hardship on the American people. So I want to thank all the industry leaders that are here today to talk about how we steer Ohio and how we steer America back to energy independence. And it's a particular privilege for me to be with really one of the great champions of American energy, a man that I have known throughout his storied political career, and a man that I have every confidence will have 4 more years of leadership. Join me in thanking Governor Mike DeWine one more time for his extraordinary leadership of Ohio. You know, it's extraordinary to think just the last few days, President Biden referred to Putin's gasoline price hike. You know, the Biden administration wants to blame rising gasoline prices on Putin's war in Ukraine. The truth is, gasoline prices had risen more than 50% before the first shot was fired in Ukraine. And gasoline prices are rising for working families here in Ohio and across America. Not because of the war in Ukraine. Gasoline prices are rising because of Joe Biden's war on energy. And we must bring the war on energy to an end, and we must unleash American energy here in Ohio and all across the nation. And if you doubt that there's a war on energy, let me just recap it for you. From the first days of this administration, following a campaign where Joe Biden pledged to, quote, end fossil fuels, close quote. On day one, he canceled the Keystone XL pipeline. He imposed a drilling moratorium on public lands. He refused to auction oil and gas leases on those same lands. He shut off the Alaska National Wildlife Region that our administration managed to open up for responsible exploration for the American people. He re-entered the Paris Climate Accords. All the while, before the war in Ukraine broke out, Governor, he actually approved a pipeline between Russia and Europe, the Nord Stream 2 pipeline that we had shut down, all the while putting more pressure on American energy producers. And what's truly remarkable is after doing everything to shut down energy production in this country, yesterday President Joe Biden sent a letter to major oil producers in this country telling them to produce more oil. In fact, his press secretary said it was the oil company's patriotic duty to produce more oil. Well, I would say, President Joe Biden, it is your patriotic duty to unleash American energy and put our nation back on a pathway toward energy independence. truth is, we know how to do it. I look forward to hearing from leaders in industry here in Ohio about how we turn loose the energy industry in this great state and in this great country, Governor. Because energy drives the American economy. You know, I like to say out here in the Midwest, we do two things well. We make things and we grow things, right? And energy drives growth and jobs and opportunities in the city and on the farm. We all know that. And so this is, in a very real sense, this goes way beyond the gasoline pump. It goes to manufacturing here in Ohio and in my home state of Indiana and all across this country. And the truth is our economy is struggling. It is that inflation and it is the energy policies of this administration that are holding America back. But as I said, we know how to unleash American energy. We did it during the Trump-Pence administration. We withdrew from the one-sided Paris Climate Accord. We approved the Keystone and Dakota pipelines. We expedited the development of the Alaska National Wildlife Refuge, and we approved a massive expansion of LNG terminals, helping our country become one of the top LNG producers in the world. And with the natural gas resources here in Ohio, we ought to be redoubling our efforts to develop our capacity, not just to gather natural gas, but to export it to the world. With a powerful energy sector fueling economic growth, we saw more than 7 million good-paying jobs created in those first 3 years. Household income soared to a new record. Unemployment plummeted to the lowest rate in 50 years. 10 million people were lifted off of welfare. We made real progress. And as I said before, we became a net exporter of energy for the first time in 70 years. We became energy independent. And what I want to say to each and every one of you is that with the right leadership here in Ohio and the right leadership in Washington, D.C., we can do it all again. And I believe we will. So, Governor, I want to thank you again for your incredible leadership here in Ohio. I want to thank you for your kind words about the partnership that we forged during those early, difficult days of the coronavirus pandemic, for your compassionate and caring leadership of this state. But more than anything else, I want to thank you for simply being a champion for jobs here in Ohio, a champion for families here in Ohio, and being willing to bring together an industry to use the powerful voice of this great heartland state of Ohio to say that time has come to put America back on the path to energy independence. The time has come to unleash American energy. And it's my great honor to be with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.